Beast. As you can see, this is not Barry talking, but this is Barry's tune. Nice little cute girl in a Santa costume. So these are going to be videos on what to do, how to do it, and what you should be doing, what you should be focusing on. You can see Barry's stats. She has a high HP, really high attack, decent PDef, MDef, really great crit, and crit damage, etc. All that good stuff. Her entire set is based around crit damage and self-healing. But for this video, we have requests for the Bispirit and the Fiend. So for the Bispirit, as you can see, she's currently at phase 26. At level 120, you can unlock phase 26. It was what, a 10k power up, I believe? Yeah. And then you can't go to phase 27. See, requires level 130 to transcend. That sucks. And then probably after that it's going to be 140. So we're not going to get anywhere anytime soon, so no rush on that one. And then the Sacrifice. Sacrifice is at 193 on hers. It's actually a good example because her Bispirit and Fiend is way better than mine. So, Sacrifice at 193. The reason why the Sacrifice is so high on this is because of this ability right... Nope, not that ability. This one. Yep, I'm sorry. This ability right here. This is your ultimate. Your ultimate is actually... Wow, I'm really bad at this video. Alright. Your ultimate gets powered up based off of the sacrifices. Not the sacrifices, excuse me, the evolves. So the higher the evolves your Bispirit, the better your damage is with your ultimate. That's why when you're looking at your Bispirit and your Fiend, you want to power up your Bispirit as priority, because the Fiend is only passive damage that procs every once in a while, versus the Bispirit is your ultimate, which you proc on whenever you press the button. Sacrifices increase this guy, which is a debuff. And depending on what Bispirit you have, it's going to be a little bit different. This one is shadow damage that is inflicted to everybody around you and puts a curse on them, which increases the damage they receive, but we don't know how much that percentage is. And then you have Sacrifice, which is improved energy rate. The improved energy rate is that's for your wings. So the faster your energy regenerates after you're done flying, so when you land, your energy comes back quickly. And Cursed Blood, which here's your percentage for damage. So 23%, really good. Lets her hit people in the face pretty hard. So priority, Sacrifice, you want to have them both at 14. After they're both at 14, you want to boost up your Bispirit. I would say your Bispirit should stay roughly 5 levels ahead of your Fiend until you get to the point at which you can't power it up anymore, or you want to evaluate the cost. So this guy costs 690 to go up. This one costs 640. She still needs to get to 26. It goes up roughly, let's see here, 50 every time you evolve it up. The cost is the same for each one of them. It's not going to be different, which is nice. And then as far as Sacrifice goes, the higher you sacrifice, the better your passive abilities are for your actual Bispirit, which means you'll have a higher level here, here, and there. That's why you get the Sacrifice up high as possible before it starts costing a ridiculous amount. You should put points into that. Not saying that the passive skills for Sacrifice is bad on the Fiend, because they're not. These are just purely going to be the ability right here. So your Sacrifice is going to boost this. It's basically the passive damage that pops. It says 17 seconds. It feels more like every minute. The evolves only boost your flying abilities. That's why you don't focus on the Fiend too much. When you evolve it up, it's just going to increase the level at which your flying abilities are, which is great for when you're flying, Not so great when you're on the ground 90% of the time you're playing this game. As far as boosting goes, so say you have this set up right here. You got the red Bispirit and the orange Fiend. Alright? Well, the red's going to overall give you more power than your Fiend will. When you do a sacrifice, you'll get more power every 10. So once you hit 11, every 10 sacrifices will give you a huge chunk of power. So it goes 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, and so on. As long as there's a 1. Same deal with the Fiend. So that's why you see hers sacrifice at 181, and she's working on getting her sacrifice up to 201. That makes me sick, the fact that you're even that far. And yeah, that's why you're gonna see the 1s right there. It's very important. If you have something that's at 80 or 20 or whatever, anything that's a 0, make sure you sacrifice it up one more time so that you get that nice power increase, and it's going to give you overall just more power. If you wanted to play where you get your power up and you don't really care about the actual stats and what it's going to do for your character, an even power up is really good. So that would mean you have both your, for example, you have both your Bispirit and your Fiend at phase 14. That means you evolved it to 14. And then you did sacrifices evenly. So if your Bispirit was at 111, your Fiend would also be at 111. That's going to give you the best power boost just to get that number higher. Notice her 8.145. God, she's so close. Honestly, she could pass me. It's just going to give you a higher number. But if you're looking for more damage output and better overall skill ability with your character on the ground, fighting, killing people, and being a little bit more defensive, you want to be focusing on your Spiritus. Your Fiend is only good because it has crit damage on it. If you notice, oh, maybe it wasn't. They changed it. Oh, no, it was crit. Excuse me, crit. So the Fiend gives you crit. So if you're lacking on crit, or you're trying to build a crit build, meaning you have a weapon like this guy, weapon critical boost. Weapon skills critical boost. All critical damage plus 22.7162%. Why do the Chinese love doing so many decimals? That's a fact. But that weapon skill made her change her stats so she has high crit, and she looks for gear that gives her more crit whenever she makes a new piece. Back to the Spirits. So the Fiend is beneficial for her because it has crit. She has it at 181, which gives her plus 900% to the stat itself, which is the 528. So you're increasing that 528 by 900%. And then I know for a fact that the stats that these guys actually have do not get directly applied to your character, but you instead get a percentage of that stat. I don't know what that percentage is. It's either 10, 20, or 30%. It's not a super significant amount, but you will see some differences. Same thing goes with the Bispirit. Now, crit resistance is great, because if you're just dying constantly, you really want to power up your Bispirit, get that crit resistance that's here at the bottom, get that powered up, because that's going to make it so people aren't critting on you that much, and that's only going to be really effective for people who are around your own power level. If you're fighting Barry, for instance, and you're a 5 mil, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to actually prevent her from critting on you. And then if somebody's higher level than you too, they get there's a multiplier that increases that. So let's just wrap this up. For the Bispirit, you want to evolve it up as high as you possibly can, but you want to have both your Fiend and your Bispirit at 14. This is going to directly impact your ultimate and how much damage it does. Your Fiend is only good for the basis of the fact that it gives you crit, and then has that passive damage that sometimes procs. It's not that often. But the crit stat's really important for everybody because there's a natural multiplier every time you crit. Those are going to be the two biggest things about these guys. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. If you want power, boost them both up equally. If you want damage and everything else, go for your Bispirit. And that's it. I don't know how to stop the video. There it is. Video 1.